if you're all about Jameis Winston, if you're ready to eat that W this year down in the booth, then subscribe to Saints Now. But if you're a fake fan, you can still subscribe. Go down, hit that big red subscribe button. Welcome into Saints Now. I am Will Scott. Lots, and I mean a lot, of Saints news to break down on today's show. We're going to get into some training camp observations a little bit later on, but we do have this from Jason Bernstein earlier today. Congrats to Jordan Brown on signing with the Saints. So the Saints have made another signing. Now you may be asking, who is Jordan Brown? Well, here is who he is. So we'll fill you in on him. 2019 7th-round pick by the Bengals, has spent time with Cincinnati, Jacksonville, Washington, and Las Vegas. Has not yet played in a regular season game. Has been a practice squad type of guy. Here's what he did back in college at South Dakota State. The Jackrabbits, best team name in all of sports. 148 tackles, 35 pass breakups, 8 interceptions, 4 forced fumbles. So he's a guy trying to make it in the NFL and has an opportunity now to compete for a spot on the Saints roster. Can play both corner and safety. Now the Saints defense obviously incredibly stacked, so it's going to be an uphill battle for Brown to make this team, but he'll have a chance to appear in the preseason game later this week. Here is the Saints cornerback depth chart. Mentioned how loaded it is. Paulson Adebo has been shown out. You got C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Marshon Lattimore, Bradley Roby, Alontae Taylor. So it's going to be very tough for Brown to make this team. What is your one-word reaction to the Saints signing Jordan Brown? Go down in the comments section and chime in. Also have this from Nick Underhill. The Saints signed linebacker Chase Hansen, per source. Hansen has been with the team before. Team is looking for depth at middle linebacker, especially after Kiko Alonso retired after one day. Now, Hansen has been on and off the roster since 2019, and of course, this comes after the Alonso news. We talked about Alonso coming back. We're all excited, and then he freaking retired. So Hansen is now brought in as a Alonso replacement. Saints need depth at linebacker, especially after Quan Alexander left. We talked about it. Hansen is now back in the building. Played in 5 games last season for the Saints. Did not record any stats, so that's something to look at when you're looking at his chances of making the roster. You know, he's kind of been off and on this roster for the last couple of years. Now let's take a look at the Saints linebacker depth chart. Pete Warner slated to start. You got Caden Ellis as well. Demario Davis has been looking great. So that is the Saints linebacker depth chart with now Hansen in the fold. Do you like this move, bringing him back, type L for like or type D for dislike? I like the move. I mean, they moved quickly after Alonso retired, so I'm going to type my L for like. It is the pinned comment on today's video. When ad break comes, go down, chime in. Let's get into some Saints rumors now. This coming from MI Football, who, I'll be honest, I don't know how credible this guy is. He's got like 10,000 Twitter followers. He's been tweeting out a lot of stuff, but every time he tweets something out, I'm like, okay, where are you seeing this, dude? I'm not seeing this from anywhere. This is what his source said, so take that with a grain of salt. The Saints have shown interest in trading for Browns running back Kareem Hunt. Now, this would make some sense. The Saints do need some depth at running back if Kamara gets suspended. The Browns have Nick Chubb, Ernest Johnson. We've talked about maybe trading for Hunt or Johnson before, and he is a starting-level talent running back. It's crazy that he's a number 2 on a team, but you have Nick Chubb, so you're going to have to make him the number 2. Cleveland would save over $6 million if he gets traded. So Hunt requested a trade. Cleveland responded to that saying, no, you're staying put, saying that they're not going to trade him, but still something to monitor because Hunt wants out of Cleveland. He is going into the last year of his deal. He wants a new contract. The Browns are not willing to give him that, but they're also not willing to trade him. Here's what he did last season. Missed about half the year. 100 touches, 386 yards, 5 touchdowns, 174 receiving yards. He's been a really good player his entire career. Here's where he would fit into this Saints depth chart. You have Kamara still is the number 1, especially when he gets back. He would still be the number 1, obviously. But then, you could have Hunt who's one of the best RB2s in all of football. So, yeah, I would really like this move, trading for Hunt. Now, keep in mind, he's heading into the last year of his deal. He probably wants a new contract if he gets traded. I don't know if it makes sense for the Saints to give him starting caliber money. Should the Saints trade for Kareem Hunt? Type T for trade or type P for pass. Down in the comments section, go down and chime in. Let's get into some Saints training camp observations. A lot of storylines emerging from New Orleans. We're going to get into that a little bit later on. But first, I want to tell you about this because our T-shirt combo is back, and you can save 40% at that link, chatsports.com/Bayou. I love this Bayou T-shirt. Got to rep the boot, man. Show the pride for the best state in the world. Well, best state in the world. Best state in the country, I guess. Chatsports.com/Bayou. Go get that shirt for 40% off. Chatsports.com/Bayou. That link is in the comments and the description of this video. Let's talk about C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who, we're talking about maybe he was holding in because he wants a new contract, but he was a full participant at practice today. That's good to see. I still want to extend him at some point. Taysom Hill returned to practice today after a rib injury. Now, he had a Liz Frank injury. He's had a bunch of injuries, now a rib injury. He is back at practice in a red no-contact jersey. Let's talk about some more training camp observations here because not just Taysom Hill is back. We're going to get into more in a second. But first, I want to hear from you. Are you going to a Saints game this season? Type Y for yes or type N for no. Down in the comment section, go down and let me know. Marshon Lattimore today walked off to the side. He had a slight hamstring pull. Appears to be nothing significant, so we'll still monitor that situation with Marshon. Nick Underhill reported this. Rashid Shaheed is practicing today. He was a priority free agent signing after the draft, returner with big play ability. He was absolutely phenomenal at Weber State. Look at what he did returning the football, and I think this makes him a guy that can make this team. Over 2,500 yards, 7 touchdowns, and he was a explosive return man at the FCS level. Now, Jameis Winston left session early, was not carted off, nothing significant, at least at the moment. Another situation that we'll continue to monitor appeared to be an ankle injury. Here's what Dennis Allen said about that. He went in for some evaluation. I don't have any update on that, but if it was kind of rolling out, I think it was in the 7-on-7 period that kind of felt it tweak a little bit, and so he wanted to go in and get him evaluated. That coming from DA. Luke Johnson said this. Dennis Allen said Jameis Winston tweaked his foot a little bit during the 7-on-7 period, which is why we did not see Winston during the full team drills. No further update on him at the moment. So, again, Jameis appeared to suffer an ankle injury today. He did suffer an ankle injury, something to monitor, nothing to do with the knee injury that he suffered last year. The Saints, I do want to report this because as we're recording this video, they have made another signing. This coming from Aaron Wilson. Saints are in process of signing former USFL defensive end TJ Carter. So multiple signings that the Saints have made here in recent weeks. We are now seeing that again. And a lot of USFL guys are getting picked up. I think over 40 USFL guys at this point have been signed. TJ Carter to the Saints being the latest. They had some depth on the defensive line. Want to give some shout-outs to our subscribers. We got Linda Campbell, Cappy, the MMG Liker, James Williams, Darren Early. Appreciate you all watching and subscribing to the channel.